Children of the 80s, it is time to rejoice because our beloved Thundercats has been greenlit for a live-action film. I have been waiting to say those words for a really long time. This is probably one of the most exciting episodes in my little YouTube career because, well, this is my childhood. And the Thundercats theme song has been going through my head all day because I knew I was going to get home and record this episode. And you know what? Let's just dive in. I'm excited. Cue the music. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Nerd News, a show created for nerds by a nerd. And I'm your host, Chris Chavez. Alright, I'm just gonna dive right into this one now. So the news broke that Warner Brothers was bringing on Adam Wingard to adapt this beloved animated show into what we have been waiting for, like I said, for years and years and years and years. Adam just finished working on a small independent movie called Godzilla vs. Kong. You might have seen it if you have HBO Max. So the Thundercats graced our TV screens on January 23rd, 1985. And it left our TV screen, sadly, September 30th, 1988. We had some animated series since then, we have another one coming up, but you know, we all yearned for that just live action adaptation. It just thinking about it makes me really excited, clearly. And we know for a fact that this movie will be adapted in mocap suit. You know, they're not gonna put on actual cat costumes. It's just not gonna work that way. They're all gonna be Andy Serkis mocap suit and it's gonna be great. I mean, hopefully they'll look better than these cats. But man, I had every toy growing up. Seriously, I wish I kept them to this day because, you know, they're worth a lot of ching-ching, if you know what I mean. That means money. You know what that means. So before we get started, if this is your first time visiting my channel, I would greatly appreciate it if you would select that like, subscribe, the notification bell so you could be notified of all things as I create them. And thus begins the casting for Thundercats. Did you like this? Cats. So with an impressive list of characters in this show, we're just gonna focus on the ones that you need to be aware of, you know, like the main cast of characters, if you will. Starting with Snarf, everyone's favorite, like, pretty much it's like Garfield the cat meets Gilbert Godfrey, kind of, you know what I mean? Then we're gonna go to Wily Cat, Wily Kit, Tigra, Cheetara, Panthro, Mumra, and of course the man, the myth, the legend, Lion-O. Alright, get your favorite beverage, because here we go. So we need an actor who can be annoying and cute and lovable and frustrating all at the same time. There's a lot of actors that can actually fit into that category. So the actor I chose is actually best known for comedy, but lately his resume has extended to writing, directing a lot of really good films. With projects like Get Out, Us, the remake of the Twilight Zone TV series, and the up-and-coming remake of Candyman. And that's right, I'm talking about Jordan Peele. So if you haven't really had a chance to watch Key and Peele, you need to, because their chemistry is amazing. They're hilarious, the scripts they come up with, the little skits, I mean, they're great. For one, Jordan has showed us that he's a character actor, and all those skits, all those characters that he created on the show, he knows how to just take an idea and go with it. And granted, you know, obviously it's going to be his voice. He's not going to be in a full suit, not just weird. And granted, it is a voice acting role, but with his writing and directing skills under his belt, he understands characters' motivation, so he knows how to drive something as simple as a cat and make it, you know, enjoyable and something that you can relate to, which is, never thought I'd say that in my time. So when you're done writing all those amazing films, Jordan, whew, you are my snarf. It's hard to say that without going snarf. All right, next up, we're gonna look to Wily Cat. So Wily Cat is one of the youngest members of the group next to his sister, Wily Kit. And an adorable little trivia, together they call him Kit Kat. It's kind of cute. So I wanted to find an actor who is younger, but who has an old soul, you know what I mean? Someone that you could really relate to and can see where that character is going to end up. Like, you can see where the character arc is gonna go over time. So the actor that I chose, these are his film credits. Out of the Village, a small stint in Spider-Man Homecoming, and his big break, Beast of No Nation. And I'm talking about Abraham Matata. Now, Abraham is a very talented actor at the age of 20. I mean, the way that he carries himself, he's a young man, but man, he has pride. He has that oomph to him, you know what I mean? In A Beast of No Nation, he played this kid who was just scared. He was afraid of his environment. And so it'd be kind of neat to see that aspect taken into Wily Cat. I mean, with his talent alone, he's already getting a lot of really good projects. And yet again, whenever I cast for these amazing movies, I always look for the underdogs, these actors who just are ready, you know, they're just ready for this next big break, and I think Abraham, this would be a great shot for him. So Abraham, sharpen those claws, my friend, because you are my Wily Cat. Okay, so the next acting choice is pretty obvious. Wily Kit. So like I mentioned, Wily Kit and Wily Cat are both the youngest members of the Thundercats and the brother and sister. Now Wily Kit is mischievous, always getting into trouble, always looking for the next kind of like big adventure, the next thing, if you will. So the actress that I want to find, I want them to have that same level of curiosity and adventure. That one where you see them on screen and you just smile and you're just like, oh, you little devil, you. And with the list of actresses that I came across, I think I finally found her. Her films include Enola Holmes, Godzilla, Godzilla vs. Kong, and of course, Stranger Things. And I am of course talking about Millie Bobby Brown. Now Millie's career is definitely taking off, doing big blockbuster budget movie one after another, working with Henry Cavill, Superman, in Enola Holmes. I mean, she's everywhere, and there's a reason for it. She's a good actress. She's growing. Enola Holmes, for an example, she is so likable in that role. She's mischievous. She can take care of herself. She's this tough, adorable little thing that just, it fits perfectly with Wily Kit. And I think pairing her off with Abraham is a perfect combination because they're both youngish actors, but they both have this incredible head on their shoulders of honing in on their craft. They're really, really good at emotions. They're really good at tugging at your heartstring and just making you smile when you see them on screen. So Millie, what you need to do, you need to toss out those egos. So you don't need them because you're a cat. You are my Wily Kid, actually. Okay, so next up, Tigra. So Tigra is one of the older yet more experienced of the Thundercat group. So he's the head of the Thundercats Council, and he's next in line to get the title of Lord of the Thundercats. It's a big title, big shoes to fill, but he can do it. He can do it. So we need an actor who is rough and tough, that has the experience, that can give you advice to whatever it is that you're going through as a Thundercat. And I found such a man. His films include True Blood, Tarzan, Big Little Lies, and I swear this isn't a plug for the movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, streaming on HBO Max. I'm talking about actor Alexander Skarsgard. Alexander is one of those actors who is everywhere and is in high in demand. And it makes sense. He's charming, he's intimidating, he captures your attention when he's on screen. I mean, he is a really good versatile actor. Heck, even a live action Tarzan he did really good. I mean, he was believable. You understood that he's a king of the jungle. And I would really like to see him in a strange role like this. I mean, just because he's been in so many really good dramas, a couple of good action movies, but he hasn't really, you know, got his feet wet in something this sci-fi, you know what I mean? This adventure, this mocap, Avengers type CGI film that's on just a really big scale. You're done being a vampire. Get rid of your teeth. You don't drink blood anymore. You drink milk because you're Tiger and the Thundercats. Next up, we have every little boy's favorite character, and that of Chitara. And if you ask why it's every little boy's favorite character, well, they drew her accurately. It's how they learn the miracle of life. So Chitara is strong. She's someone you don't want to mess with. One right hook, you're done, kid. I mean, she is crazy fast. Chitara, hello. She's gotten the Thundercats out of a ton of situations, so she's a very vital part of this team. So I'm trying to find an actress who has that strong-willed, quick kind of vibe to her. And yeah, I found her. Her films include the great TV show Atlanta, the hauntingly beautiful film Joker, Deadpool 2, and is currently filming a movie with Brad Pitt called Bullet Train. We're talking about actress Zazie Beetz. Now Zazie is a strong actress. Like, she brings a lot of personality and a lot of just gusto to her characters, you know what I mean? I mean, yes, even with Domino, a character whose superpower is luck, she's still charismatic as all get out in that movie. I mean, to me, in some of her performances, she has that Angela Bassett type feel, you know, that like head up, like very proud, you don't want to make mad type of person. She's a fantastic, versatile actress. I mean, look at her performances in Joker and in Deadpool 2. Yes, they are two different types of movies, two different types of scenarios, characters, but man, in Joker alone, she is just, it's hard to watch, let's just say, in Joker. I think she would do absolutely perfect, and it's just a perfect character, and it's a perfect choice for her, and I can hear her voice in what Chitara looks like. And this is great. So Zazie, it's time to embrace your new role, your new franchise in that of Thundercats, because you are my Chitara. Next, we're gonna move on to my second favorite character, in that of Panthro. Panthro is such a cool character. He is a tech-savvy Thundercats who also you don't want to mess with. He's Panthro. So I wanted to find an actor who can display both, you know, kind of like the Bruce Banner and the Hulk. He can show the side where he understands technology perfectly, and then when a fight happens, you want to be by his side, not, you know, in front of him, taking those hits. And so the actor I chose, here are his film credits: Blood Diamond, Guardians of the Galaxy, Constantine, and Captain Marvel. And that actor is Jamon Haunsu. Now, Jamon, to me, he's always cast in those rough and tough kind of roles, but a lot of the times those characters have those little bit of humor, like his character in Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, he was there at the very beginning, stopping Peter from stealing the stone, remember? Now, Jamon has that really cool 007 type feel to him, you know what I mean? Especially in Constantine, he plays a character called Papa Midnight, and he was just a cool guy. I mean, you wanted to dress like him. He was just a really awesome, cool character. And he seems to be popping up everywhere in Marvel and in DC. I mean, he was in Aquaman too. For like a brief second, he died. He was like half man, half seahorse kind of thing. You wouldn't know it's him unless you read the credits or his IMDb page, but that's him. He was there. So Jamon, leave behind DC, leave behind Marvel, because you are Panthro. All right, guys, only 2 more characters left. Let's do it. So with this next character, he is my favorite. Just because he's the villain. I am a massive fan of villains. I never liked heroes. I don't know why. Don't know what that says about me. I'll work that out later. But, you know, it's Momoa. We're going to talk about Momoa. So Momoa is the main villain of the Thundercats, and he demonstrates all kind of dark magic. He has his own little goons that help him out, and they're really weird looking, but he has his goons, and they do his bidding, and he terrified me as a kid. I mean, the animation, I think, alone is why it terrified me. And his voice, that raspy voice, oh, it's so good. So I need to find an actor who has that voice, you know? You gotta have that villain voice. You gotta have that weird, unique, quirky voice for this unique, quirky villain. And honestly, this choice was easy for me. I will have to explain myself, but here's his list of credits, okay? Star Trek Into Darkness, The Intimidation Game, Lord of the Rings, The Desolation of Smaug, and of course, Doctor Strange. Yep, Benedict Cumberbatch. So before you jump over to another YouTube channel, hear me out. The man has the quintessential villain voice. I mean, besides like James Earl Jones, he has this deep, soul-sucking kind of voice. I mean, Desolation of Smaug is a perfect example of that. He voiced Smaug. And if you ever saw the behind the scenes of him actually in the mocap suit, which I don't know why he didn't need to do it. He got on all fours and he did the lines as Smaug. And just hearing that dialogue, it's so chilling. And especially with him playing Khan in Star Trek, he understands villains. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's an amazing Doctor Strange, but he's such a good villain. And that voice mixed in, you know, with how Momoa looks, it just makes total sense. So Benedict, what I need you to do is get the Eye of Agamotto, put it in your, I don't know, lockbox or whatever you have, and you, my friend, are my Momoa. All right, last but not least, guys, you know who it is, Lion-O. So Lion-O is the leader of the Thundercats. He's the Optimus Prime of the Thundercats. He is the quarterback of the Thundercats. You know, when you saw the thumbnail of this episode, you went, Thunder, Thundercats, ow! So I want to find an actor, yet again, who is just tough, who is intimidating, but has that leadership quality that really cares for his people and anyone else that's close to him. And it's funny, when I was doing research on trying to find an actor for this, it was really funny because I'm not the only one who thought of this actor. It just kept coming up, and I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, no, this works. And the actor I chose, let's talk about his film credits. Conan the Barbarian, Justice League, the up-and-coming Dune remake, which looks amazing, also on HBO Max, and of course, Aquaman. Yeah, you knew who it was when I said his first film on that list, Jason Momoa. I mean, let's be honest, the man was born for a role like this. It's like Lion-O meets, what's his name, Kraven the Hunter. Like, he has that animal quality, Sabretooth, you know, that same kind of he's in that wheelhouse of all three of those. You kind of mix them up in a blender and you got a good performance, regardless of the three that he chose. His strong demeanor, his massive stature. I mean, he's one of those guys that you seriously want to sit down and have a beer with and get to know, because he's just a cool dude. He's a very friendly guy. But then on the other end of it, you don't want to mess with him because he's the size of a house. And I'm assuming all these actors are going to have the like mocap suit like they did with Avatar. You know, they had kind of like a jumpsuit in a way, and the camera in front of them. That's probably what it's going to be like. And his facial expressions, just based off of how that technology works, picture that on the Thundercats that we know, the Lionel that we know. It's good. It's real good. I mean, just picture him saying Thundercats, ho, you know, with the sword. Just for a second, take a split second and picture that. You hear it? Yeah, it's good, right? It's good. God, my childhood is coming alive. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, guys, that is it. Let me know if you agree with my choices. I love all the comments you guys have been leaving. Please continue to leave them. I try to respond to as many as I possibly can. You guys rock. And until next time, guys, I have a question for you. Let me know what childhood animated show you would like to see on the big screen. I can't wait to read your comments on those, guys. Maybe I'll do an episode off of one of those. Maybe it's Street Sharks. If you remember Street Sharks, raise your hand. I can't see that hand, but I know you're raising it.